What's going on, guys? TBF Gaming, we are back in 7 days to die. That's right, it's the weekend, which means it's time to kill some zombies. Hey, so today, before we actually go out, I'm actually going to do a couple little tutorials about the Valmod Starting Classes. So I'm going to go through a couple of them real quick before we get anything on our actual dedicated server here. Obviously, you know this is the dedicated server we've been playing on. We're already on day 36 here. So instead of kind of wasting a little bit of time on here today, doing a little bit of mining, some other things that we want to get done, I think before we do that, I'm going to jump in and we're going to talk a little bit about the starting classes. So give me just a second to load it up, and we're going to talk about the first class, which is Bruiser. Okay, guys, here we go. This is where you actually first spawn in. You see you got our three things on our hotbar there. Obviously, we got our little land claim block, which we don't care about. We have this one, which is our actual thing that we're going to read in order to get our classes. So we're going to click this. I'm going to go recipes, and you get to choose. We're going to go with our first one here, which is Bruiser. I'm going to craft this up. It'll make our little high-speed briefcase here, and all you can do is place this on the ground. Press E to, oh, we didn't mean to do that. My fault. We know better. So you're going to place it on the ground, get out your key, and you're going to right-click. It's now unlocked. Now let's check out what we get the Bruiser class here. I'm going to grab everything out of there. Oh, I saw something moving out the corner of my eye. Check it out. So you get a couple clothes to start with, a couple that give you pretty decent starting stats. You know, when you're first getting into the game. Get a shirt, some pants, and some boots, which are decent stats. You get beef rations, which I think normally you get 1. For this one, you get 2. Painkillers, instead of the typical 1, you get 5. Bottled water, typically you only get 1 or 2. You start with 4 here. You start with a couple extra bandages. You start with 6 first aid bandages, which is really high. You get a spiked club, which is really good rating for starting off, 299. That's pretty nice. You got the sawed-off shotgun, level 267, which is going to be awesome to start off with. 90 shotgun shells, which is great. Some antibiotics, because we're probably going to get into the fray and get infected here pretty quickly. A repair kit, your class, and your Bruiser perks. Alright, so if you check it out, obviously when you first start off, your skills, you can see nothing's really leveled up or anything like that. You got your normal starting stats and everything. Once we start these classes, you're going to get a nice little uptick in these things. So let's read this. We'll accept that. Alright, so we're now going to get a little quest line, if we can remember which button to click here. So you're going to get a little bit of extra things here. You're going to get some blunt weapon skill, some blade weapon skill, and a couple other things like that, which we'll just show you in this tab instead. Alright, go down here. You see we got blunt weapons is now up to an 11, so that's going to help you out starting off. Shotguns is 11, and I think it was blade was the other one that went up. Let's see, we can't see it here. Let's type blade. I think it was blade was the other one. Yep, and blade. So blunt, blade, and shotgun are all going to level up to level 11. So it's pretty good starting. Definitely not too bad. So now you should be able to do a decent amount of damage starting off. The Bruiser class I think is a lot of fun if you really like to get up close and personal. Grab the actual melee weapon, get in there and do some things. Depending on what difficulty level you're starting off with, or how much experience you have with the game, I would say if this is your first time playing, Bruiser's probably not the right one. I know it took me a long time before I was really comfortable using up close and personal melee. It's not something that we really want to mess with early on. There you go. Let's go in here and shoot a couple guys. And I don't even know what difficulty I have this set to. I think I have it set decently high, so we might die really quick first off, but. Alright, come on. There we go. This would have been really nice if we got an axe first. Another thing that Bruiser gets you later on is you can make an actual combat axe, which is pretty cool. Let's see, almost in there. Come on, let me in. There we go. Alright. That was quite fortuitous. He was right outside my purview there. You can see though, this shotgun is pretty awesome. Like I said, if you like doing some up close personal stuff, this is definitely pretty cool to get started with. Alright, everybody in here down. There we go. Oh no. No, she always takes some serious shots. There we go. Alright. Like I said, Bruiser, I think Bruiser can be a lot of fun, but if you're not real familiar with playing up close and personal, it may not be the one you want to start with. It just really depends on your play style. Bruiser, I think, might be for a little more of experienced players, but honestly, it's still not a bad thing to start off with. So that's gonna be it for Bruiser. This is just kind of a quick look at each one of the starting classes to kind of see what they're gonna give you. So the next one we're gonna look at. Oh, we almost forgot before we actually jump into that. You also get a actual class quest from this. So we'll go ahead and read this real quick. And you're gonna get a nice little challenge here for the actual that's specific to the Bruisers. So we'll check this out. Bruiser quest. Let's toggle that to active. So there you go. So kill any zombies. So you got 30 of those. Let's go ahead and. I don't think we're gonna sit around and actually kill 30, but this is gonna give you a nice little quick quest that's gonna be really easy for the Bruiser to accomplish. So let's go. So one last thing I'll say about the Bruiser, I think if you're wanting to quickly move into a house first thing when you first get into this game, this is definitely one that's gonna help you clear out a house. This first house that we moved into, I think we had a total of like 11 zombies, 12 zombies in there, and we cleared it out like it was nothing with this awesome shotgun. The problem is later on you're gonna have a hard time repairing and stuff like that because your smithing and stuff is not gonna be up to par. So I think it's gonna be good for that initial stage of getting in, but after that you're gonna be kind of SOL without being able to repair and get some of these things back to that same level you already had them. So all right, let's move on to the next class, which is the Builder class. All right, guys, let's talk Builder class. So let's get into our actual class selection here. Recipe. We're gonna jump into the Builder this time. So the Builder, as we put this down here, throw that like so, unlock it like that, and let's get into it. So here is our Builder stuff. Let's check this out. For this guy, we're gonna get our tank top. We're gonna get a little bit of pants, some worn boots. Not quite as good as what you had with the Bruiser. Now, the clothes aren't quite as good, but we got some other things that make up for it. So obviously we don't get as many painkillers. We get a few less bottled water. We only get 2 bandages. We do get a torch, which helps out a lot. That way when you're running around at nighttime. We'll get into those in just a second. Let's go ahead and throw our hat on as well. We didn't get that in the last one. All right. You're going to get your claw hammer for repairing. You're going to get your iron fire axe. You'll be able to get tons of wood early game, which is going to be awesome. You get to start off with a nice little amount of wood there, and then some wood frames, so you can get started right away. 96 wood frames can give you a pretty decent amount of building right away, so that helps out a lot. You also get a pistol and 75 rounds, which is a huge help. And here's what sets them apart. You get the handsaw, which is going to really help out, and you get the workbench. The workbench is probably what sets this apart more than anything. Early game to get a workbench right away is crazy helpful, so that's going to help us out big time in the early stages of this game. This one, I think, is if you are concerned about getting the supplies right away, if you actually spawn in a decent spot and can find a place to live, this is going to really set you up quickly and get into some of the crafting and stuff really quickly. Let's check out the actual Builder perks. So let's do this. We're going to read, see what levels up for us here. For this one, you're going to get, as it loads here, so challenge completed, Builder skills. So for this one, you're going to see that we level up the construction tools all the way to level 21, which is a huge bonus. All right, and then you should get, there should be one of the one that leveled up here. Let's see. So that might be it. So okay, so that's kind of a bummer. I thought there was one other one that leveled up with this class, but it looks like just that one. But that's such a huge uptick. That's pretty nice. Look at that, 21 in construction. So you're gonna be able to do some things right away with that. It's gonna be a big bonus. And then the benefit of having this nice of an axe early on is really definitely gonna help. Be able to get into some quick building. It's gonna really help out. And then obviously you can see when you have this sort of axe, it's gonna give you some really nice amounts of wood. Look at that. Each time you're hitting it, you're just barely starting off. And just like that, you're getting 9 and 10 every couple swings. That's really good compared to what you would normally get in that early game. Let's check out our actual quests. Let's read this guy here. Accept that. Alright, we're going to go over to our quest line here. Our Builder quests. Let's make that guy active. So the first one is just gather wood. So this one's pretty simple. We just got to gather a bunch of wood. So I would definitely say with this class, I think this is definitely a good class if you're on here with someone else. I don't know if this is the right one if you're just by yourself. It might not be the best. Oh, there's one of the new guys from the Valmod pack. Let's see if we can take this guy out. In fact, let's just not mess around. Let's make sure we can take this guy out. So if you guys haven't seen this, this is the lumberjack. Alright, but hey, as I was saying, this class is probably not the best class unless you're playing with someone else, or unless you just really want access to the workbench pretty early on. I think then it might be worth it, but otherwise, I'd probably go with one of the classes. This is definitely a cool class just for the fact that you get that and you get the actual saw as well. So that's really helpful, and you get quite a few frames to start with if you want to get into some building right away. But I think some of the other ones for survivability early on are a little bit better, because honestly, later on, all these classes kind of even out. So you want something that's going to really give you an advantage early on. Let's move to the next class. Alright, our next class that we're going to talk about is the Gunman. So this one definitely is a pretty cool one. This gives you a nice advantage early on. Check this out. So let's place this guy right there. Unlocks like so. Jump in there and pull everything off. So just like usual, you get your typical tank top. You get your pants and your boots. I get a couple of those, a few of the painkillers, a couple of water. Kind of the same thing as like all the other ones. Bandage. Then some of the other stuff you get a cigar. So I don't know if it actually adds anything. Burn time 3 seconds. Not really sure. Alright, you get a leather duster, which is kind of nice, especially if you start in a cold biome right away. You get the hunting knife, which helps you get some food really early on. A cowboy hat, which scientifically is proven to help you survive longer. A 44 Magnum, which is pretty awesome. You get a 44 mag rounds, 105. Put these two up here. And then, of course, you get your repair kit, which can help you repair your gun early on. So let's go ahead and do the Gunman perks right away. I'm going to accept that. Alright, kind of look around, see what kind of biome we went into here. I haven't really talked about it, but each time I'm doing this new map, I'm typing in the actual name of the map. Is the name of the actual recipe that we're starting with for our starter class. So look at that. We got a couple new skill unlocks. We got silenced pistol, 9mm round. So you learn some things really early on that really help. Let's go ahead and read the quest line, see what we got to do for the very first quest for this guy. Let's go like this, go to our quests, Gunman quests. So kill any zombies, 30 of them. See the gun that you get starting off. So this one's pretty nice. This is actually a fairly powerful weapon. If you can find any animals early on, it really helps because you have a gun to take them out really quickly. And then you got an actual hunting knife to skin them. So that's a really good bonus to start off with early on. For the actual stuff that it leveled up right away, go down here. It should be the gun skills. There we go. Handguns 21. So it pumps that way up. So the damage that you do with that handgun is a lot better. Some of the handguns don't do great damage. The 44 Magnum though does do pretty decent damage. Let's see if we can run into someone here to actually give us an opportunity to use it. There you go. So the 44 Magnum actually has a decent amount of power to it. I think I'm playing on a pretty easy level here, but still kind of gives you an idea of how it does in terms of damage early on. So it definitely gives you a nice advantage of survivability early on. So that's a big bonus. I think the bigger bonus with this is just the fact that you learn those other recipes so early on, and you can actually do and with this you actually get a decent amount of rounds early on, so that actually does help quite a bit. Let's run over this house real quick. The unfortunate part is it only levels up one stat. Doesn't give you too many other bonuses. I mean, the hunting knife I think is pretty nice. It does help out if you're finding like some animals and stuff like that, so you can skin them. But otherwise, I don't know that it's the most useful early on. Let's see if we can get some people waking up. Obviously, we wouldn't do this in a normal game. We're just doing this just to get through this kind of quickly. You see, it's got some decent power. Take these guys out. Oh, look at that, one of the little crawlers almost got us right here. There we go. And you got one more in the corner over there. There we go. So it's definitely not a bad starting set. I would say if you like to have a gun early on, so that way it gives you that. That's definitely helpful. It doesn't have a lot else in it that is really super helpful to start with. That's probably the only really thing, because a hunting knife I don't think is going to do a lot of good early on. Like obviously you're going to skin more than what you normally would. Here, we'll show you here. So there you go. You got us an opportunity to show you this. So you're going to get a decent amount doing this. So you can see you get a little bit of meat, a little bit of animal fat, a couple bones, but it's not such a crazy amount that it's really going to make a big difference. So all things being even, I don't know that this is the best starter set if you're on with some other people and you just want to get a gun early on and the ability to make ammo really early. then it might be worth it. But other than that, I'd probably wait on this one. This is definitely not my favorite of the starter classes, but still, pretty cool starting option. Obviously, it's better than just the base game starting option. Let's move on to the next class, which we've already done Hunter in one of our previous episodes. I might come back and do another separate video on this, but let's talk about the medic. Alright, so as we said, let's check out the medic. The medic is definitely pretty cool. Let's look at this one. So this one, let's go ahead and unlock this guy here. So with this one, you get about the same thing. You know, you get the typical clothes, slightly different variations like usual. You do get a bandana with this one. I don't know if some of this stuff's random. This is the first time we've doing this. We're kind of doing this as we go here. But you get 5 first aid kits, which is great. You get that same hunting knife that you get with the Gunman, which is another reason I don't think the Gunman is really worth it. You get a pistol, which is not quite as strong as the 44, but it's still pretty good overall. You get the water. You do get some peroxide, which you don't get with the other base builds. You get some herbal antibiotics. You get some more first aid bandages. You get some purified water, which purified water is great because that can actually, we'll do it right here real quick. It can actually raise your overall wellness. Well, it didn't for us this time, but usually it'll raise your overall wellness. You get a beaker, which is going to be great once you actually get to your campfire. You get the repair kit to fix your gun, obviously some rounds, the same beef ration, 8 painkillers this time because you are expected to do a little more fighting with this class. You're going in and helping out your buddies, make sure they survive. So this one overall, this is another one of those ones that I think is a great utility class. I don't know that it's worth it. Kind of like with the other ones, it's not really worth it starting off. But here, let's see what you actually get with the actual medic perks. We'll go ahead and read this right here. We'll do that, and we'll do this one real quick while we're waiting. There we go. Alright, so we completed the medic skills. With that one, you unlock a new recipe of pistol, so that's kind of the same as the other one. You get pistol right away. You get a silenced pistol right away. Once again, same thing as the Gunman. 9mm round ammo, same thing as the Gunman. You get a healing agent, which is obviously a new one. You get the health drink, which is pretty nice early on if you can actually make it. You get the Maniac powder, which I've never actually personally tried that. I'm not 100% sure what that is. Are we really missing that much? Wow. Okay, obviously we can't shoot. You get first aid kit. So you can see you get quite a few recipes with this one. So let's check out what stats it did bump for us here. Scroll down through here. Obviously it gave us a 21 in medicine, which means you're going to gain quite a bit of health when you do first aid or anything like that. Also later on when you get the darts that you can actually use to heal your people that you're playing with, you'll heal more on those. So decent overall starting off. For the quest line, your first initial quest is going to be to craft a bandage, craft a first aid kit, craft a first aid bandage, and craft a disinfectant bandage. So it gives you a few things to actually craft up, which you're only going to use them if you need them, and some of the supplies for them, it takes you a minute to get them all together. So I don't know that it's that useful early on. So this is definitely not my favorite of the starting classes. I think that this one is so similar to Gunman that if you chose between the two, I might choose this over Gunman, but it's going to be pretty close because Gunman does give you a little bit more damage with the initial gun, and it gives you a slightly better gun, and then you get the same knives. Obviously, this one gives you the first aid kit. So this is going to be another one of those ones that I would probably only use if I was playing with a couple other people and we just wanted someone to have first aid kits, you know, early on, because otherwise it's going to be pretty much the same thing. Oh man, yeah, see, this gun is just not that powerful. Yeah, definitely not the most powerful gun. I mean, obviously my aim is awful anyway, but you would think I would still be able to, you know, kill a deer from a decent range. There we go. So definitely not the best of the classes. This is not one that I would choose starting off. It's not bad, but it's just not the best starting off one. You only start off with 75 rounds, which isn't great either. So, and like I said, don't know if this is the best one. Oh, she's not dead. There we go. And now, same thing with the other ones. I am choosing the map seed based on the name of the actual recipe that we're using for the starter set. So the map spawn point doesn't seem too bad. But that's definitely not a reason to actually choose a class. So there you go. there's the medic. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be the miner. Actually, the miner we're not going to do. If you guys want to see the miner, go look at our playthrough. Survivor. Let's move to Survivor. Alright, here we go, guys. The Survivor class. Let's check this out. Do our typical thing here. Throw the briefcase down. And unlock and check it out. Here we go. Alright, so this one we're getting our typical clothes, of course. We're getting a different color tank top. That's nice. Alright, get our pants, get our boots. With this one, we get a crossbow, which is $259. That's an awesome start. An iron crossbow bolt. 105 of those, and those are super powerful. I really like those. Some painkillers. You get a cooking pot, which is great starting off just in case you can't find one. You get a first aid kit. You get a cloth head armor, which actually gives you pretty decent protection. 14 concussive, 14 puncture. I really like this one. Give you 11 fire, 6 electrical. Can help keep you a little bit warm. I like it a lot. You get the hunting knife, which you got with the first 2 classes, which kind of shows you that it's not really necessary. You get a flashlight, which is helpful. All right. You get one extra thing of meat, a couple extra bandages, a couple extra waters, and extra torches, which is kind of nice when you get into a house. You can place those on the wall, which is great. All right, let's read this guy right here. Same thing as before. We'll go ahead and read this one too. Get this one going. All right, bam. All right, so with this one, this one's really cool. I really like the crossbow. You get the new recipe for the crossbow, so you can build that early on. Usually you got to wait just a little while to get that new recipe, which is a lockpick. Lockpick's pretty nice. You don't have to actually break through the doors. You can sneak in a little more quiet. Oh, nice. We get a couple arrows there. So let's see what we actually leveled up in terms of the initial skills here. All right, so you're going to start with 11 in archery, which is nice, and then you're going to obviously use the archery to start attacking everybody, so you're going to level that up fairly quickly. You also got 11 in scavenging. This is one of the things that kind of sets us apart, is it kind of hooks you up with some scavenging right away, because that's something you're going to do so much in this game and level up anyways, but it's nice to get that head start. But look at this one. Safe cracking, 10 out of 10. So you can actually break into safes fairly early on, which is really nice. I think that's a really, really good perk for this one. I really like this one starting off. Also, the flashlight's not too bad of a thing. That's kind of nice if you actually get stuck out, if you're trying to do stuff inside. Not quite as great as the mining helmet that you get with Miner. I think this might be, I think this is my 3rd favorite overall of all the starting classes, behind, of course, the the miner and the hunter. So far, my top 2. Still got a couple more to try out, but this kind of falls in number 3 right behind the other 2. Definitely a good starting class. Gives you a couple of good things. You can see here, scavenging is awesome. First, look, 24 right away. The first time you're opening stuff, you're pulling out a pretty decent amount. The crossbow itself is fairly strong. Yeah, definitely getting more things than what you normally would starting off. Definitely a pretty good thing to start with. I think this, if you're playing solo, I think this is one of the better starting classes. Definitely worthwhile. And the crossbow is enough fun to play with anyway. I'll go ahead and take out a couple of these guys. Plus, the crossbow, unlike the guns that you got to deal with the other guys, the crossbow you can be super stealthy and quiet. You don't have to worry about waking everybody up. Oh yeah, we hear you. Where are you? There we go. Oh, in there. Okay. There's our buddy. What's up, bud? But the crossbow is definitely decently powerful. And like I said, the ability to actually stay quiet if you wanted to is really nice. Did we already take everybody out? Cool. And then with that scavenging skill, you're going to be able to get in here and actually get some nice things. So I think this is definitely a worthwhile starting thing. Let's see. Damn, some nice food. Oh, there we go. There's our first scare. Not even playing a regular game. Yep, we had a heart attack just now. That was awesome. That's the best part of this game. That nice fear thing going on. So there you go. Archie already level 12. So already leveling up. We got some nice things out of that drop there. That's what it's about. I think this is definitely one that if I was playing solo, if I play a solo playthrough again, I might debate taking this one. It's between this one and the Hunter probably. Although Miner has been so helpful for us early on. No, found a cooking pot anyway. So there we go. Gives you a couple cool things. But that's the basic gist of that one. For the actual quest line for the Survivor quests, first thing is just kill 30 zombies. So that's the first quest line in that one. We could talk about the other quests later on, but for most of these, I don't really want to spend too much time about it. Just want to talk about the initial impressions of it, what we kind of think of it. This one is definitely worthwhile. I would definitely say that this is one you need to think about going with, especially playing either solo or if you want to be the actual like protector of a crew or something like that, if you're logging on with a couple other people. Obviously, if you shoot like me, you might not want to choose this one. You might want to go with a gun because our aim is obviously really bad. Okay, feel free to shoot her in the head. There we go. Good lord, that was awful. But the scavenging skill alone, I think, might make this one worthwhile. So there you go. That gives us that class there. Let's move on to our next class from Survivor, which we definitely like. We're going to move on to Veteran. Let's check out Veteran. All right, here we go, guys. The Veteran class. Let's check this out. So this one I don't really know a lot about. This one I actually is one of the few that I haven't actually kind of looked at before. Oh, maybe we can do this correctly here. You would think this many times in now we would get it right? All right, unlock. Let's get into this thing. Let's take it all. All right, let's see what we get. We get some BDUs, so that's pretty nice. You actually get some BDUs, which give you a little bit better protection, better durability. Like all these things across here are a lot better. BDU top, there we go. And a military helmet. Military helmet is nice because later on, I think this is the one that you can actually install a flashlight on, which gives you something similar to what the miner hat gives you, which is awesome. It's got a pretty good armor rating, which is cool. You get an SMG, which is great. Some military boots, which are nice. So look at that. That's some pretty good starting off gear right there. You get some rations, and you get a hunting knife. So the SMG is pretty sweet, but you only get 120 rounds, and the SMG does fire fairly quickly. So let's go ahead and get our veteran perks going. Oh, my bad. We declined it. That's not normal. Let's try this again. Read. Let's accept it. There we go. Buttons are hard sometimes. Let's go ahead and read this guy too here so we can get this going. All right. Oh, look. Did we start? We started right next to a trader. Fortuitous is that if we were playing this map. All right. So new recipe unlocked. Some AK stuff. A silenced AK. So you actually get some really cool starting off stuff there. Some 7.62 rounds, which is probably to me the most important rounds that you end up using here. And then you got your Veterans Quest. Let's see what that is right here. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Veteran Quest. Make that active. Just kills 30 zombies with the AK. Okay, makes sense. But pretty cool. Definitely like this. I think the SMG is a really good gun, but I just don't know if 120 rounds with the SMG is worth it. I kind of want to see what the firing rate is with it because it's been a while since I've actually used this. Typically, I stick with the hunting rifle, and then eventually the sniper rifle is the only ones I like to really use if I'm playing on my own. And then playing on the actual server, I'm pretty much usually just with the hunting rifle. And then early on, I might play around with the actual just regular handgun. So let's kind of run out here. Should see somebody soon. But starting off, not much different from the other ones. Kind of a little bit limited. Not a lot of great things here. I think this might be great if you spawn in a fairly heavy area. If you want to go take out a larger building or house early on, maybe it would be worth it. But otherwise, I'm not so sure. Okay, no, you can control the fire rate with it, so it's not too bad. So we only fired, 6 rounds or so there, or 5 or 6 rounds, something like that. So that's not too bad. And then you have the hunting knife, which I don't know if this is random about what level you get, but a 297 is pretty nice starting off. The 277 for the weapon starting off is also really nice. In terms of skills, obviously we're gonna love. It's gonna be giving you a bonus in the areas that you would expect. You're gonna get rifles, which are gonna start at 21, gonna give you a little bit extra damage in that area, which is definitely worthwhile. Looks like that's the only thing that gets leveled up to start with. So yeah, I don't know if this is a great starting off one. If you just want that initial gun, you guys are gonna get into making these kind of stuff fairly quickly. Maybe it'd be worthwhile, but I think for me, it's not the one that I would want to start with. Although, if we're starting off fighting off these guys, maybe a little military base to start off with. Okay. Yeah, if this is where you're starting off, maybe. Then maybe this is worth it. Take out a couple of these guys, maybe get some more gear. Wouldn't be too upset at that. We gotta hit him though. So now I'm single clicking. You can. I'll show you here now since I'm not actually playing this map. We're not worried about it. You can do like an actual quick fire, so that way you can actually. Oh man. There we go. But you can do a quick fire like that. But you see how many rounds it expends through it. The amount of rounds that you end up spending is definitely really high. Make sure this guy's dead here. Alright. Everybody dead? Everybody dead? I know I saw one of the guys sneaking up on us over here. Where'd he go? Where'd he go, sneaky zombie guy? I hear you. Anybody else hiding out in here? No? No? Okay, I know there was a zombie there, but yeah, I guess if you come up on a base like this right away, and you get some rocket launcher parts, okay. But then you're able to actually take out a couple military guys. Maybe then it's worth it. But I don't, like I said, I don't know that this is the best one overall. Let's see. Yeah, we didn't get really too much great out of that, but this is actually a really cool starting spot. Like stuff that we're gonna get really early, maybe. But our scavenging skill is so low that I don't know it's worth it. But you see, we went through like 30 rounds right there. So if you're actually taking out some high-level enemies, you're gonna use a lot of rounds. It's gonna go really quickly. Oh, yep, we hear you. We hear you. Where is he? See, I knew there was a guy out here. I definitely heard him. Am I hearing things? I don't know. Oh, there he is. We got a crawler trying to sneak up on us. A lumberjack. Yeah. So here you go. So that's firing just one at a time. Here's what it's gonna look like if you hold it. I think if you hold it, you're gonna fire a lot quicker. Pretty much the entire 30 round clip. That's a lot of rounds to expend. All right, I got a Walkman. That's it. That's awesome. Oh, there we go. There's a flashlight. Now I don't think we can do this here. Let's find out. So if I take this, can I put a light on it? Oh, so I would need some duct tape. But if I can find some duct tape, then I could actually put a flashlight on our helmet, and then it might be worth it. If you could get a flashlight early on. Oh, why are we on fire? I don't know. But if you can get a flashlight on there early on, I think then it might be worth it. But otherwise, I don't know that I go with this as a starting class. It's kind of the same as the other ones. You really want something that's going to benefit you super early on. Oh, okay, that's cool. Get some extra rounds. We definitely need that. 9mm rounds are not too bad to start off with. All right. So I think that's all we're going to do with this guy. I don't think we're going to run around this too much more. This would be kind of a fun starting spot to start off with, just because the fact that you got this stuff right away. But let's move on to the final one, which, you know what? Actually, we're not even going to move on to that one. I think we're just going to go back to our regular dedicated server that we're playing on. We just kind of wanted to jump in here and kind of show you guys real quick the different classes. Hopefully we did it quick enough to fit all into one video, so it'll be kind of a catch-all. We just wanted to talk about some of the other Valmod stuff that we haven't got a chance to talk about. So I'll see you guys back on the dedicated server. There you go, guys. Back on my dedicated server. Hey, so that's what we got for the classes. I really enjoyed checking those out real quick just to kind of see what they are. That way, if we try to do a single-player playthrough again, we'll know which one we want to jump into. I'm really obviously leaning towards either the veteran or the survivor or the hunter. One of those three. I really like what they start off with. Ultimately, it all evens out in the end, and under Valmod, you get so many points that you can put into your skill trees that it's not really too big of a deal. The survival one is really nice because you get all that extra actual scavenging, which is huge early game, can really help you out. The veteran gives you that military gear, which is awesome, can really help you out. So man, there's just so many options to go with. And then I just like the actual crossbow that you get with your with the actual, what is it called, the hunter. So that so many cool options. Is really, you can't go wrong. It's pretty much just gonna be up to preference. I say the only ones that I really wouldn't lean towards is probably the medic, because I think that one, unless you're just on a giant team and everyone else has got all the other places handled for you, medic's probably not the right one. But overall, pick which one is most fun for you. I'll see you guys in the next episode back on the dedicated server. We'll get some more zombie killing done, advance some more days, and hopefully hit a 7-day horde one of these days when we don't miss it. Alright guys, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode of 7 Days to Die.